Hey gang. So in part 4 of my personal defense series, we're going to talk tonight about what you could do legally with regard to personal defense in most of the United States. And I say that because every state has their own self-defense law. A lot of them are very similar, but they are worded differently, or they require different things from the victim before the victim is allowed to defend themselves. And I know that sounds unfair, but it is what it is. You want to change, go ahead and get the law changed, then you'll be all then you'll have it all going on. So you've been working on your OODA loop, your observe, orient, decide, and act, and you're practicing, identifying potential threats and learning about understanding your escape routes and avenues of escape, and then just making decisions to act certain ways, and then go ahead and acting on those decisions. You've been practicing that. So now let's take that a step further and say that you have gotten to a situation where you weren't paying attention, or the bad guy was really sneaky, got up on you, and you got him with what they call his circle of control over you, where he's close enough to lay hands on you if necessary, or if he has a firearm, he doesn't have to be that close. Firearms are very efficient tools for punching holes in things, and they can do it from great distances in the right hands. And most states would recognize that if someone is threatening you with a firearm, that it's reasonable for you to believe that your life is in danger, and you may take steps to keep yourself safe. Very serious steps, very final steps. But that being said, about half of the states in this country, the great United States, have a requirement in their self-defense laws that say you must try to escape, try to retreat, try to run away, and it must not be practical for you to do so before you can deploy any kind of force that may be considered likely to cause death or grave bodily harm. Now that kind of makes sense. Some people would say, well, that's a good idea. That kind of makes that using that force a last resort, doesn't it, Rachel? Yeah, it does. But about half the states in the country have what they call a no duty to retreat law, or a stand your ground law, as we've heard on the different news stations, a stand your ground law. This kind of sounds like something that Rambo would do, or John Wayne, I guess, but what it really means is you don't have a duty under the law to retreat or flee. If you make the claim that you believed your life was in danger, in imminent danger, or you were in imminent danger of taking a beat down that you weren't going to walk away from, and so you had a legal right to be where you were, and so you opted to defend yourself with whatever force you deemed necessary to stop this unlawful interference with you. And believe me, even in what seems like a carte blanche type of situation where, oh yeah, if you feel threatened, just go ahead and shoot them, that's not really what it says. Okay, you've got to see when if you ever were involved in a defensive gun use, you find out that guy who you thought was the worst enemy and the scariest thing you ever saw, he ain't nothing compared to that guy in that $1,000 suit with that big briefcase standing in that room. Okay, about to take everything you own because you screwed up. We have a phrase over here. We have all these slang terms all the cowboys in the United States use. and then some other countries I'm sure as well, but I just love them, you know. One of my favorites is, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Um, Probably not. If you ever shoot anybody in the United States of America, you'll probably wish that you were being carried by 6. from what I've gleaned from the various court cases that I've studied involving defensive gun uses, and you can see these things unfold on the news. You know, we as human beings are genetically predisposed not to kill another member of our own species, and when we do, if we have to, or we think we have to, and we do, it really messes us up. And maybe we had to do it. Maybe if we didn't do it, we would be dead ourselves, but it still messes us up. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because that's not something that we were programmed to be able to do. And we somehow overrode that and did it and got it done. And now we're back to the other person again that couldn't do it. And we have to live with it, and we have to deal with all the people around us who are treating us like a murderer. It's called the Mark of Cain syndrome. And I for one, don't want to have to experience it. And I hope that if you get anything from these videos that I'm talking about, teaching you guys this stuff, you won't have to experience it either. And you know, really, everything that I want to talk about in these videos is our tools to help you not have to shoot someone with your concealed carry gun, with your little pocket pistol. Okay. Now you're on the street, or you're in the parking lot, or you're in a building, and you feel threatened, and you decide that you have to defend yourself. Maybe it's just by using your mouth and yelling and telling the person get away, or you're going to beat him up. Maybe it's he comes at you and he's barehanded and he's not that big and strong, and so you have to fight him with your bare hands. You have to push him away, whatever. Maybe now he's overpowered you and you don't have any fighting skills and you're not that strong, you're not that aggressive. A lot of trans women are like that. I don't really think I'm all that aggressive anymore. So now maybe you got to find a tool to help you take care of this job. Tools make every job easier. So maybe you got to get a tool to help you take care of this job. Now you've just escalated the amount of force that you're going to be using. Hopefully it's a multiplier, a force multiplier that makes the force equal now to whatever that other person is throwing at you. Okay? You don't want to go too much because you could end up in a lot of trouble. And so you used a weapon, you got hold of something heavy and you struck him with it, and that was all you needed to do. He stopped attacking you, or she stopped attacking you, then you need to stop defending yourself and get away from that situation and call 911 as soon as possible, within seconds, please, as soon as you feel safe to do so, and report what happened. So now, you know, as a trans woman, maybe you have a carry letter from your doctor or your therapist that states that you are a woman and that you should be treated as such by the authorities, and her and she gender markers should be used on all your paperwork. Maybe you don't. That'll help if you're in a jurisdiction that isn't real friendly to trans people and they start treating you like a man in a dress that disguised himself as a woman so that he could go out and lure people in, would-be rapists, so that he could bludgeon them or shoot them. Okay? And I know that sounds ridiculous, and that's exactly what the civil attorney that's suing you and trying to take your 401k is going to say. We don't have public opinion on our side. It really helps if you have a doctor's letters that say you're a woman. That goes a long way towards your emotional state. It goes a long way towards maybe your physical strength, you know, and how you're recognized under the law. A lot of us don't have those carry letters. We're not transsexuals. We're not going to have surgery. So we're on our own. We have to be careful what bathrooms we use already, because we have no validation of our femininity or our being a woman legally. Okay, so this is a big deal, especially when you're defending yourself. Now, I could go on for hours, but I want to briefly talk about the 3 things that you need to know and you need to recognize before you can fight back. Okay, and they are in most states, they are weapon, intent, and delivery system. Okay, what these translate to is, does this person have the ability to kill you or cripple you? That would be their weapon, whether it be their bare hands or they have an actual weapon. Okay, do they have the intention to do so? Have they conveyed to you that this is what they want to do? Or by showing you aggressive posture, or saying, give up your purse or I'm going to kill you, or they're just lunging at you and it's just happening. And then delivery system. Delivery system means basically, is this person physically able, with no obstacles between you and them, to carry out their threat? So if someone's standing 100 feet away from you with a knife threatening to stab you, you can't pull out your gun and shoot them because they don't have a delivery system for their weapon. They can't stab you with a knife from 100 feet away. They can't hit you with a rock and kill you from 100 feet away. They can't hit you with a baseball bat or another contact weapon from 100 feet away. They can't do it from 50 feet away. At this point, you would need to be escaping, trying to create greater distance between you and them. If they get within, what's generally recognized, but it's not a hard and fast rule, 20 to 25 feet. Now, a lot of police departments recognize, and that is close enough for the average human being to cover that distance in less than 2 seconds and hit you with whatever they have in their hand. So now that's an imminent threat to your life, or an imminent threat to your body, possibly giving you a crippling injury. Now, you got the 3 things. I'm going to let you mull that over for a while. Weapon, intent, and delivery system. If you recognize these 3 things all at the same time, okay, they all have to be there at the same time, then you can take steps to defend yourself. Possibly, if this weapon is capable of killing you, you could defend yourself with lethal force, if no lesser force will do. Now, I want to do a disclaimer here before I stop. I'm not an attorney, so anything I say in these videos cannot be considered legal advice. I'm not a police officer, and I'm not going to go into how I know about this stuff. You can verify it by looking it up and doing Google searches and all that other stuff. Hopefully I'll get you thinking about it, so you will, before you go carrying a gun around. And I'm not going to give up. I don't need to give up too much of my past. Okay, you don't believe what I'm telling you? That's fine. It's not my problem. Anyway, with that, I have to say, gotta go. I'll be back with another video about actually using that force and what happens when that's done. That'll be the next video. Okay, everybody, love and peace to all, and let's just try to accept one another for who we are.